What's going on, guys? It's your boy back with the video. Today we'll actually be checking out one of the frames. Today I think we're actually going to do a straight build. This is not live stream, this is live recording. So let's jump into it. Today we're actually going to check out the gunner frame, which I already have equipped already. As you know, there's 5 frames. There's balance, striker, gunner, enchanter, and searcher. Balance is of course what it says. It's more of a balance type, do a little bit of everything. Striker is, it sounds like it's more close up and personal thing. Gunner, long range builds. Enchanter frame is more for buffs and tanky, and searcher is more mobile and agile, which is really cool. But we're going to be focusing on the gunner frame. As you can tell, guys, comparing to all the others, the gunner frame has the lowest reaction speed, so keep that in mind if you decide it. I'm going to have lowest reaction speed. As far as movement, it also has the lowest movement speed. It's pretty low all around and everything. The only thing you see it beat every stuff out is the attack power itself. You see, right now my frame is that only has 9,000 HP, 200 melee, 200 range, break power 75, and it's pretty much there. And the thruster capacity is 3K. That will come into effect a little bit later. Which isn't bad, it being a gunner frame, because it has more thruster capacity than the other 3 others, so it's not too bad there. So when you're doing with a gunner frame, the cool thing you want to realize is you have two EX skills for your frame. You have the hyper megasonic cannon, which is actually really cool, because once you use it, it's very strong. It's very linear. It takes but the problem is, since you can't cancel out of this, it's very dangerous to use. So be careful. It also gives you attack boost. It's really dope. It's like a big sniper beam. So hyper big gun is really dope. The cool thing about this is when you use it, it has a very high chance of knocking multiple parts off. So if you're in a fight, or you want to steal some parts, or someone's got a key you want, pop this bad boy, boom, boom, boom. But again, be careful, because gunner, the weak point for these abilities is the long animation you cannot cancel out of. Alright, so we're going to build us a suit real quick. Melee weapon really doesn't matter. I honestly will suggest using a lance, only because their strong attack is actually a dash. So you may see me do that, or I use the axe to help pinpoint where I drop when I want to boost, hop, boost, drop down on a box, or drop down very quickly. You'll also see that once we're playing, the thruster capacity and the recharges isn't that good. So I'm gonna be that guy, and I am gonna get let's see. I am actually going to get let's get a lance. Now majority of lances have decent, break power or whatever. You see this bad boy here, the drill lance, like holy cow, yes. You see the melee power is up there, which again, we don't want to worry about melee as much, but the break power is something that could come in handy. Of course, I don't have all the weapons unlocked right now, bear with me. There could be more weapons, but I'm going based off what I have at excess. So next up, here's the important part. At this point, again, guys, this is strictly how I see it. There's 2 things. One, you want to make sure whatever gun you get is either very strong, like the bazooka, the atomic bazooka, or very consistent. Because using the gunner frame, you should be okay. And I'm not sure about other frames, but a single bullet should kill a regular unit, no problem. 1 hit, it should always. If not, you should definitely try another unit, another weapon. The weapons I actually like, I like the beam gun. Oh, excuse me, not beam gun. Beam magnum from Unicorn is really dope. All right. I also like the Zanbuster. It's strong like the beam magnum, but in the sense of the charge shot is actually a grenade shot. See how the beam magnum is a charged beam shot, and right now the input's kind of weird in this game, so sometimes when I hold it, it doesn't want to charge, or maybe I just have dumb fingers, I don't know. And same thing goes to the Buster Rifle. The Buster Rifle is awesome because the charge shot is actually a beam. And again, it's unsafe, so it's more something to punish other people with, and to get your the full capacity out of it, you will sit there and hold it. But for this build, I think we're gonna go with let's go with the beam magnum. Actually, we can try other weapons as well, but for the time being, I'm not a real big fan of the beam blast right now. Again, it's very situational. It's up to you, preference. But I honestly think we should just be careful of what you have. There's a lot to choose from. I'll say that. So let's actually. You know what? Let's do something different. Let's see how this works out. And keep in mind, some are actually sniper rifles, right? So say if you want a long-range sniper rifle build, I think you can get away with it. You just have to be very careful, because some maps are in your favor and some maps are not in your favor, especially if you're fighting searcher units or strikers. See, I honestly wish there was more information as far as the range and stuff go. Let's actually try. Let's try. Let's try this bad boy. Build divers, double magnum. All right, so for the head, we're gonna try to find something that's more of a assist. I like to do the antennas. That gives you either your enemy's position or jamming, which makes it so people can't lock onto you, or they can't actually use their abilities. That's what skill seal is. So people around you cannot use their abilities, which is really cool. Open control, I'm actually not sure what it does. I haven't looked at that yet, but I usually like something like antenna. But the problem is you want to get something that's really cool looking, right? So Atlas Gundam, of course, is pretty dope. It has antenna, which if you go and check your EX skills, antenna will actually kind of give your broadcast on your map. Head Vulcan, I really don't care for. It's just like simultaneous Vulcans. It's really not all that fun. Exam system, if you want a buff or a transformation, I say go for it, but just make sure you can capitalize off of it. Long range search, that sounds like something up our alley, it being a long range. Now, unfortunately, unless I'm doing something wrong, you can't see what it skill actually does here. So all you have to do is just go over to EX skills right here and just see what this is. And so going back to that, I'm like, you know, let's see if we can find a cooler head with a little bit more defense that does something to the similar sort. Reaction speed is, right now, everything feels slow. So reaction speed doesn't feel like it does too much. Here you see Tallgeese has, what, 10 defense more. Here we have, of course it's Freedom Gundam. But I don't care about Picus. I don't. GN shields could come in handy. Mind you, it's a passive, so keep that in mind. It's a passive ability that's unlocked. And the problem is that since things unlock randomly, it's harder to anticipate what will be useful and what will not. And of course, as you know, when you see multiple things, you can choose one of those two. 93 and 225 with antenna. That's impressive. This is really impressive here, actually. 99 reaction rate, and it has antenna. Although I don't like the way the back of the head looks, but I think we actually might try that bad boy. We got high. We're gonna keep it somewhat consistent. For the body, I would suggest either something like a buff, or just in general. It doesn't matter because these abilities are on all parts of the bodies. So just find the build that you're comfortable with, or the parts you would like to use. Because another thing is, it's like you're trying to look cool and be efficient at the same time. I do like using like the systems that make you either go move faster, or self-repair, which helps repair your parts when they're taking damage. Defense or self-defensor is more of a buff. And there's also field offensive. When it's field, it's for everybody in the area. So for if any buff, any builds you want to buff you and yourself, you can do that as well. Photon shows a defensive. I actually have not looked at this yet. So fire laser typically generate a barrier, inflicts freeze on enemies. That sounds amazing. I actually have seen people use this online. I know exactly what it is. So let's actually just keep that there. In some cases you can go to quantum burst, which is a heal. Stabilizer and self-defensor is actually really fun. Say at the beginning of the match, if you manage to actually unlock your buff and you get jumped or whatever, hey, maybe you can defend yourself, maybe not. Self-defensor may become important depending if you decide to use builder parts with stats. I will show you guys some builder parts that I use in a little bit. So as you see, there's a lot of options for buffs, defensive or not, jamming. So just pick your poison, whatever you want to try. But I do want to try this body because I haven't tried it before. But keep in mind, it shoots a beam and then gives you a barrier, which isn't bad. So we'll test the range on that, okay? As for the arms, I would strongly suggest try to get in, at this point you would have maybe 1 to 2 non-attacks and everything else should be attack. See how this is a beam gun, so or accelerator field, which is really dope. But arm Vulcan, arm beam cannon, beam Vulcan, and keep in mind, although you'll be attracted to cool big strong beams, that you're very, very vulnerable when you do that. Okay, so I would suggest getting weapons that can either shoot missiles or a very strong projectile very quickly, so you can recover and get back to your business. You know. Then we have, this has the dart, the rifle, has the anchor. So let's see here. And again we want to have something burst resurrect. So that just sounds like it's ridiculous. Let's see what this looks as real quick, guys. Burst resurrect, recover HP for self and allies. That's again another good for buffs. We'll come back when we do the actual buff build. Shoulder tube missile launcher. I actually like that. I've used it on a build already. The only down part is if they're like right in front of you and then between your arms, it's hard for them to hit. But you'll realize if someone's right on you, it's really hard to shoot them. I have not tried the Dober gun yet. Let's see. And you also can use like shining shot, which if you guys remember is usually the shot with the arrow. Dual beam gun, to each its own. Of course it comes with the shield. The tornado is a long range attack, which I don't think it is. It says it is, but if this attack, I believe it's actually a like a spinning attack, similar to Gundam Breaker. Alright, so triple beam cannons, this sounds enticing, but again, beam, be careful. So at this point you can just literally get whatever you want. Let's try a missile pod. For the arms, for the legs, again, you want something kind of long range or something incriminating. You can get the rail cannons, the hip cannons, but I'm gonna say right now I'm a big fan of Buster because you have 4 different range attacks to choose from. Like, that's ridiculous. Even the beam hoop, we know what the beam was like. But yeah, the stuff I have now, hands down, a lot of time I'm going to pick the Buster legs because I have that many options. Now here as well, you will want to look for an attack, or in the other case, I would strongly suggest you would have probably at least 3 to 4 attacks, and rest could be buffs, or you can be a long range bruiser and have attacks. But beware, there's trade-offs. Say you start a match off and you unlock an attack, but it doesn't seem versatile, or you unlock a buff that doesn't seem versatile when people are trying to level up at the very beginning of the match. I mean, so it's honestly up to you, you know. I think we should try. I think it's okay to have at least one beam attack on you for long range. They usually have very long range. There's different boosts you can have, and again, right now I'm good with the boost buffs. Sorry, got the missile launcher here, which isn't too bad. 21-2 missile launcher. It probably acts like it did in the past previous games, which shoots upward. Which we can actually try, but I think I would try funnels, but funnels are definitely not, they're not fun. The new hyper bazooka. Alright, so that's probably a attack similar to the one we have right now. New hyper bazooka, spin around, evade, attack, and fire a backpack mounted bazooka to damage targets surrounding enemies. So that's more of a defensive attack. You can go with that. It's totally up to you. But right now the funnels aren't working like I would like it. So I would be careful. A quadruple multi-launcher, the tri-blade. I'll actually show you guys some stuff that I'm pretty sure is really impactful. So you guys may have seen me use the Bael bat. The Electromagnetic Cannon is pretty freaking strong and is very fast, Strike North Twin linear gun probably operates the same way. It's just that I have a I just really like the way the Bael back pieces look. So I'm just gonna roll with that. For the shield, guys, of course, a lot of times I would say go for the atomic nuke shield, the radiator shield, because it helps you clear ads. However, you don't always have to do that. You can get something that can give you a rush or a GN shield, or for when things get really close, a claw mode. But honestly, I think the meta is going to be for these. You either have like an eye field, something to protect you, or the nuke. You can use it. You can use a missile launcher or rifle, but I think in this case, we probably want a nuke. It's really tough because I don't want to be that guy, but I will show you. This is stuff that I have. Majority of the stuff I had played with already, so I can tell you what will and won't feel right. So as you see here, we have the antenna, photon shield, missile pod, the energy high beam rifle. Now you can switch this to sniper rifle, and that's a beam, but it's a very long range beam. All right, the electromagnetic cannon is a quick gun, a quick fire shot. It does a lot of damage if you manage to hit them. Mind you, the weakness for a range build is you have to stop to shoot. Okay, remember that. A lot of your EX sets you have to stop to shoot. But again, you can play with the antenna slot if you want. You can play with the chest slot if you want. It's totally up to you, but I would totally have at least 4 ranged attacks, at least for a buff of some sort, or something to help you get your eyes on the field when certain things spawn, because some stages are huge and you don't know what's going on, and also helps you keep tracks of some enemies that may be coming your way. Now, builder parts. For you guys who may or may not like builder parts, there are some builder parts you see where they increase some of your damage by decreasing. Everything increases something, but decreases something else. So you see how this right here actually increases your maximum lock-on distance, but decreases your HP. So we're at 9,000 HP, right? So we can just put this up here, and it's going to drop us down to probably about 8,000, somewhere around between 8,000. So we're just gonna move this bad boy. Let's move this bad boy up. Oh, I always pick the wrong one for that, guys. All right, there we go. All right, so that's for one. Mind you, the longer your range, the more you can punish people. And if you have more range in your build, you're more likely to be able to punish people before they get to you. If you're lucky enough, because like I said, some stages aren't nice to you. Some stages are not fair to you. Another thing I like using, the large beam cannons. As you see, it decreases the break power of melee. The break power of melees. but increases some of the ranged weapon attacks, you shouldn't care about melee damage. So capitalize off something like here. And it also looks really cool with this backpack and the legs and the Bael. It looks like you got like some crazy wing thing going on. So in this case, let's try putting 2 of these bad boys on. Oh great, I passed it. Look at me. See, I'm trying to be all fancy, and this is what happens, guys. Alright, so there you go. And that, mind you, my melee is going to be very weak, but, well, weaker. But my range damage attacks are going to be up, and I shouldn't care about melee because I have no melee stuff on me. Your homing ability is interesting because for certain ranged attacks like missiles or even your nuke has a certain curvature. If you guys ever notice, if you increase the homing, and the homing is pretty terrible at times. But since we already have something like this, we don't want to decrease anything else. If anything, we would want to increase our booster capacity probably. So let me show you guys real quick. EX range versus EX gauge charge. As you guys know, that gauge sometimes fills up fast and sometimes it doesn't. We could also roll with this bad boy again, but I think let's do something a little different. Where's it at? Alright, so this right here, this is actually keep in mind, your boost speed and movement speed are 2 different things. Your movement speed is just regular running around, and your boost speed should be when you're boosting. Mind you, if you stack your boost speed and your boost capacity, your movement speed should not be a big concern if you manage yourself properly. So let's actually go with the shield booster, and we're gonna keep it. Yeah, we'll just keep it there. And you know what? I don't want to mess with it because that's actually pretty cool. Oh, actually, we could. Let's see if it's gonna let us rotate all the way. Boom! Look at that. That looks cool, right? Right? All right, cool. So right now, as you see, we have ranged attacks, lockup distance up, and boost speed. So with that, if you can find something, see, I'm tempted to put one of these bad boys up here, because again, you don't lose anything out for the power losing the melee attack. So let's do this. All right, so crap. So much, but we can get away with it. Alright, let's do this. Let's make it smaller. There you go. So mini guy right there. I don't want the clipping to be too crazy. Alright, so we have 3 slots. We have 5 out of 8. And you actually don't have to do these. You can turn the stats off or whatever. It makes a small difference because while playing, I've definitely felt the bad thing. See, slightly decreases chance to drop held items, but it decreases your reaction speed, stuff like this. You want to keep your range gauge up because that will allow you to shoot more. More boost speed right here. You might want to keep, again, boost speed and movement speed, 2 different things. So I'm trying to see which one I like more. I think I like the. So let's move this. I think I like this one more. Alright, so let's change this to ground thruster left, alright? Where was it? It's already there. Alright, so at this point you see boost speed up, movement speed is down by 3 points worth, okay? and ranged weapon attacks is up. Mind you, since we have the rifle, we can just pew 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 pew. Mind you, if you have the atomic nuke, I would suggest kind of getting a bigger boost gauge, because if you use the atomic bazooka with the frame, you should have 2 shots before you have to reload. So keep that in mind. And there's also an ability I will show you in a second. We'll go over one more thing. Alright, so we would like to see if there's something we can increase the range gauge without getting any detrimental effects. So what you can also do is, there you go, capacity. See, it says thirst to capacity. If you can find something that doesn't, there we go. What is this? Left. All right. So here's the only thing. I really wish that I could just. At this point, we're gonna be really slow. All right. Oh, that would be fine. Let's put it in the backpack. At this point, you can hardly see it, right? So since this is uneven, let's put it on the left arm. Can we put it on the left? Nope, sure can't. Dang! How about that? Right arm? Oh, well, that's our right arm shield. And again, as you guys see, it's a little bit hectic with this. So, and again, that's like 1, 2, 3, 4 negative movement speed. But in place of it, we got booster and capacity. All right. So mind you, that's -4 on one thing, plus what, 2, 3, and then 1 in another area. So it kind of evens out. You just get placed a little bit quicker. Just keep in mind you will. You won't be able to like walk that much, so be very careful of your speed. Your EX actions as follows from what we got. And again, you can always change these two. I would say keep at least 4 solid attacks. Frame abilities. These are important. So you have a few. You have something that increases your break power of ranged attacks, break power of ranged EX attacks, damage of ranged weapon attacks, damage of ranged EX attacks, and damage increased by 4, but of course decrease your break power by 50%, which is a lot. That's a lot if you want to be worried about breaking. But sometimes you don't have to worry about breaking, you just want to kill people or not get killed yourself. Your range gauge is plus 8% at this point because it's leveled. I think it starts like at 2 or 3, I don't remember. But this is actually pretty cool because of course it gives you that percentage amount more to your gauge before we're reloading. Your shot speed, depending if you're using a fast or slower ranged weapon, you might want to check this out. The homing ability, as you know what it sounds like, home in. Maximum range could be something up your alley if you want to be far back. Damage while awakened is very maybe also another good option, only because your ranged attacks while awakened can have some range. EX damage or frame EX is about 12%. Of course, that's really good. But it only happens once every time you awaken. So, fire at will when HP is critical is actually really cool, guys. When your HP drops under 20%, you'll have like 4 seconds and you can just spam your fire gauge. So it's really good if you have something like the nuke, okay? So it's really good. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to get the ranged weapon attacks up, okay? We're just worried about attacking right now. And range gauge up. Or ranged EX damage. I think we want ranged EX damage. If you haven't noticed, I am more focused on range EX damage and gauge. Let me see if we can see something. I know I could have sworn there was a part that gives you increases only, like that's for like buffs and debuffs and whatnot. Alright, let me see if I can find this real quick, guys. If not, we'll be fine. I wish we could sort this. Alright. Oh, well, forget it. Anyway, so there's that. This is the Gundam we've made. Range build. Let's go ahead and color this bad boy.